Signs of the Swarm is one of the biggest deathcore bands in the scene, but the question is, how did they get there? What's their story? Well, that's exactly what we're gonna find out today. So my friend, as usual, take a cup of coffee, cigarette, cinnamon rolls, whatever you feel like as we explore the story of Signs of the Swarm. Real quick, before starting the video, if you want to be a part of our community, the easiest way is to join our Discord server. The link is in the description. We also have our live deathcore podcast on Twitch every Wednesday. And my merch is finally released. You might have noticed under the video. You can go on my website, xdayan.com. I'm gonna link that, obviously, in the description as usual. But yeah, I'm so proud and so happy with the result. I have many things, nerdy content like Goblin Slayer, I have the Lord of the Ring edition, I have many things on my website. All the mugs you saw that you guys were wondering about in the comments, it's also on there. And yeah, I really aimed for a higher quality in terms of products, like vibrant colors, the material and all that, which explains why it might be more expensive than regular band merch per se. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do. It was my lifelong dream to have my own clothing line. So when I was about to release the merch for the channel, I figured let's launch my brand instead. And yeah, there it is. Now I want your feedback. So, you know, feel free to tell me what you think in terms of like how it looks and the general vibe of it. And yeah, let me know in the comments. So the band was founded in 2014 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the original lineup was Rodney Fabian on rhythm guitar, Jacob Toy on lead guitar, Bobby Crow on the drums, Colin Barker on bass, and of course, CJ McCreary on vocals. Not too long after starting the band in early 2015, Rodney was replaced by Corey Smarsh, so I guess this would technically be the original lineup since they didn't release any music prior to that. So they spent the first year together writing music, and in April 2016, they released their very first album called Senseless Order. Great album. CJ's vocals, man, oh my god, they're incredible. What a beast, seriously, it's insane. With all due respect, I think that's the best thing on the album. It makes them unique because the instrumental is great, don't get me wrong. I mean, like the slam parts, the breakdowns, everything, it's super heavy and great, but the musicality by itself wasn't groundbreaking or, you know, very innovative, but with CJ's vocals and all that, it was very promising. And talking about promising, they made like multiple over 5-minute songs. That's quite ambitious. I think it's very respectable. And it was also self-produced, self-recorded, and for what it's worth, it sounded great. So all in all, very good start for the band. The reviews were good for the most part. They were made later on, weirdly, because at the time when it was released, it kind of went under the radar. Like, most bands starts with an EP or whatever, but this was in the, you know, kind of the downfall of deathcore, and it was more of a gent era. So the band releasing a full album as their first material, the timing and everything, it wasn't as big as it could have been, I believe, in, you know, in terms of when it was released and stuff. The reviews were still good for the most part. Many people were obviously impressed with CJ's vocals and whatnot, and very understandable, of course. And a fun fact, every time, or almost every time, I pick a song to represent the album, I realize afterwards that that's the song they picked to make an official video. So it's I wanted to mention it because it happens in every video I make. For this one, what's the name? It was Mouth Soon Prophets. Probably butchered it and mispronounced it, but it was a performance video, nothing too crazy here. But if you consider the fact that they were unsigned, independent, and doing everything by themselves, releasing a full album and an official video, it was pretty impressive. You want to know what's even more impressive? Their live performances. That's unreal, honestly. Like, come on. So even if the album kind of went under the radar, they still got some traction and people were talking about it, which paid off because not too long after that, they got signed by Unique Leader Records. A very big milestone for them, of course, and it was the perfect label because they were basically just signing the heaviest bands in the scene. Unfortunately, not too long after the release, Colin Barker had to quit the band, so Bobby, their drummer, replaced him on bass. They also hired a new drummer to replace him, Jimmy Pino, super talented drummer, and just like that, they had their new lineup. Which brings us to September 2017, when the band officially released their new official video for a single called Cesspool of Ignorance. What a song, man. Like, what the hell? That's incredible. That's the moment where I personally discovered them, and I'm always gonna remember. I know CJ is controversial and all that, but what a vocalist, man. Like, what is even that? Like, it's like, those sounds are not human. Like, that's absolutely incredible. And if we go and talk about the instrumental, musically, it's such a big improvement. I don't know what happened with the label and with the first album. They improved so much. Like, it's more technical, refined. All the songwriting is better, in my opinion. It was the perfect sweet spot. Remember when I told you, I mean, you probably remember, it was like 4 minutes ago, but I told you that it wasn't groundbreaking on the first album. Well, to me, this was groundbreaking. They had like a unique thing going on. It was awesome, and no one sounded like that, in my opinion, at that specific time. So yeah, everyone was excited. It went viral, basically. It was their moment as a band. I mean, like, the video got a lot of traction. People were wondering. That's basically, for a lot of people, like me when they discovered the band. So yeah, it was their time to shine for sure. Okay, we're back. My cell phone died. So for the video, it's pretty simple, but still cool. We've got the band playing, and at the same time, there's some sort of ritual happening, classic deathcore here. And here's the interesting thing. At the end, you see CJ opening doors, and it feels like it's the end of the world, some kind of doomsday and whatnot. You hear screaming in the background. I don't know. To me, it was cool and interesting. So 2 months after releasing that, in November 2017, Signs of the Swarm released their official new album with unique leader records called Disfigurement of Existence. Okay, I'll go ahead and say it. It's one of my favorite deathcore albums, period. It's so sick, and I'm gonna repeat myself, but CJ's vocals, oh my god. Like, everything is an improvement. It's just so heavy and interesting. There's no boring part whatsoever. For once, I actually enjoyed an instrumental. You know when they make like an interlude or like a song without... It's the first time I was like, that's pretty good. Not bad, am I right? And I thought it was also worth mentioning that CJ did that in 2017. Does that remind you of anything you heard? Yeah, and also, while we're mentioning cool things, they did a featuring with Dickie Allen. So freaking cool. I also gotta say, it's one of my favorite artwork. I even think it would make an awesome magic card. Yeah, I'm a nerd, and I'm okay with that. Then they made another official video for the song Nightcrawler. Great production, love the colors. The concept is simple. Once again, we've got the band playing, and at the same time, there's some creepy stuff, I guess, in the background. Yeah, it was overall pretty cool. Not the same impact as their other video, Cesspool of Ignorance, but it worked and it was awesome. And by the time they released this one, there was a big hype surrounding the band. So, you know, it was cool to see. As much as things were looking up for Signs of the Swarm, unfortunately, CJ had to leave the band because he had an amazing opportunity to join Lorna Shore, since Tom Barber also had an opportunity to join Chelsea Grin. So of course, the band had to adapt to the situation, which is exactly what they did. They hired temporary vocalists. I'm gonna butcher their name like crazy. Matthew Krochak and David Simonich. Sorry. Yeah, I probably butchered their name. Sorry, guys. But as we all know, they eventually chose David as the official permanent vocalist. A very good choice. He's still with the band to this day, but, you know, we're gonna get to that. And yeah, great, talented individual. So they were back on track, basically. The way they announced David as their new permanent vocalist was in a vocal playthrough, which I think is smart because it shows exactly what he's made of. I was reading the comments, most people were happy and were just complimenting the guy, so it went well. Talking about going well, he sounded incredible right off the bat live. I also found a 2018 interview in which he explained how it was to join Signs of the Swarm at the time.
I was really good friends with everybody. We knew each other within the local scene and stuff. Yeah, fucking big faces, dude. No, but yeah, and like I enjoy it a lot. I love it. I feel at home with everyone.
Right on. Is this your first tour with the band?
Oh no. I did the Ingested Body Snatcher run, and then also I did Devastation in the Nation with them. And then
Alright.
This is my first, like, me full-time being vocalist with them.
By the way, while we're here, I thought it was kind of funny and awkward how the person interviewing had no idea that he did multiple tours before and he was a fill-in vocalist. I don't want to be mean, but it's the kind of things you're supposed to look up before an interview. Anyway, so with David, they went back in the studio, and in October 2019, they released a brand new album called Vital Deprivation. Great album. I don't know why. It took me a few listens before appreciating it. Like at first I wasn't sure. It might be just because it was a little bit different, more technical, even almost sounding death metal in certain parts. But yeah, very good nonetheless. And for what it's worth, David did an amazing job. CJ's vocals were so sick that it's probably scary when you replace, a vocalist like that. But yeah, I won't compare or anything. But I think he did a good job. It sounded very guttural and gnarly and very suiting of the album. It was great. I re-listened to it few times, and yeah, I dig it. I think it's good. Unfortunately, once again, Signs of the Swarm still went through some lineup changes because Jimmy, their drummer, had to quit, which made Bobby, who you remember went from drum to bass, went back on drums. And so, since they also needed a bass player, Jacob went from guitar and filled in. So they managed to work it out. So, and even then, even after going through some lineup changes like that, the live performance were outstanding. Okay, as I'm making the video, I just noticed that in this live performance, in this clip, Jacob is still playing guitar, right? And so my guess is, at that time they were using tracks to back up the bass live until they hired their new guitar player, Jeff Russo. And that's when Jacob really went on bass. That would be my guess. Anyway, the important part was they had a new lineup, things worked out. Then they released a live performance video for the song Lost Within Reflection, and during the pandemic, in 2020, the band still made new music, and so they released a new single called Pernicious. I personally really enjoyed this song. I liked it, and the songwriting to me was very well done. You feel like a story is being told. Dave's vocals are outstanding as usual, and the concept of the video was the band playing while a man is slowly being transformed into a mix of Venom and a demon somehow. It was pretty cool and very matching with the concept, since Dave was often screaming, "I've become one with the dead." Then, a year later, they came back with a brand new single called The Collection. Wow, man, I really liked it a lot. The mix of technical death metal with hardcore vibes. It's not an easy thing to mix both worlds, and they did it very well. Of course, I guess having Matt from Kublai Khan and Nick from Molotov Solution surely helps. But still, I think the songwriting is a big part of why it worked so well. And yeah, as for the video, we've got the band playing while someone is being brainwashed, and it's very futuristic, very matching once again of the lyrics, since he was screaming things like "slave to the hive mind," "worthless parasite." I like that a lot. I think it's a cool concept. During the summer of 2021, Signs of the Swarm officially announced a brand new album. Everyone was excited, of course, and the very first official video they released to promote it was for the song Totem. Pretty cool song. Once again, I'm gonna repeat myself. Dave's vocals are outstanding. For what it's worth, I think he got better and better on each album. Like he was always good, but I feel like he's constantly improving. Let me know in the comments if you noticed that, but like to me it's pretty obvious. And yeah, so the video again was the band playing, and this time we've got Dave doing a ritual with the book. I think it's the same book that we see on the cover of the album, but I'm getting ahead of myself. And yeah, the second single they released with an official video was for the song Hollow Prison.
Feel the weight of the world pressing down my shoulders. I'm feeling blows and screaming inside. Ice cold on the outside, trapped in a hollow.
Another cool song with an awesome featuring. We've got Alex Arian doing some crazy vocals on it. It was my personal favorite parts, if I'm honest. Unfortunately, by the end of the summer, Signs of the Swarm had to part ways with both Corey and Jacob due to some very serious allegations. And so later on, they hired Michael Cassese as their new bassist for the upcoming tours. Which brings us to September 2021, when the band officially released their brand new album called Absolvere. Great album, objectively. What I mean by that is it was very different. Like, it almost sounds death metal to me the whole time. Like, for example, it feels like there's a big breakdown coming up, and instead it's like a slow chug with double pedal or straight up another blast beat. And even in the gnarliest breakdowns, they had certain leads, which isn't bad. Like, musically, it's good. But to me, it made it not as intense and heavy. And yeah, so the general spirit and vibe of it was different. It wasn't Signs of the Swarm to me. It was kind of a technical death metal version of it, if that makes sense. I would be curious to know if you felt like that as well. Let me know in the comments. Of course, my biggest surprise was to hear clean vocals. Even if it's not my favorite thing in deathcore, I gotta say, I think it was objectively good. Like, they sounded awesome. And talking about vocals, I think the most deathcore thing on the entire album is Dave's vocals. Like, that's my favorite thing by far. That's basically what made me enjoy a lot of the parts on it. So props to David. It was gnarly, and he was still, you know, as good as he was on previous material. So there was that for me, at least. But again, objectively, I know it's good. I know musically it made sense, but I was expecting something maybe a little more intense and you know. Right before the album release, they made another video for the song That Whistle. It was a great concept, cool song, all of that. I just wanted to mention the reason why Corey was a part of it is simply due to the fact that it was shot prior to the allegation. I'm mentioning it in case you're wondering, maybe. And so after the release and all that, they made a cool release tour with Absolvere and Worm Shepherd, and I gotta say, the live performances were insane. Then, a year later, during the summer of 2022, Ben officially got signed by Century Media. It was a big deal, big milestone. I mean, I think they were for 6 years with Unique Leader, so probably a big decision for them. And so the first song they released with the new label was Unbridled. Very cool song. I personally enjoyed it, and I was extremely surprised to enjoy a guitar solo. For those who know me, you all know that it never happens, basically. I don't enjoy guitar solos in songs, maybe except for like old school rock and stuff like that. But this one was, I don't know, something was special about it. The instrumental was also very interesting and rich and well written. What stood out to me was the drums. Somehow, I don't know, like the structure was perfect, and great transitions and stuff like that. So I wanted to say that. As for the official video, once again, we've got the band playing, but they were dressed in a way that reminded me of the infamous Suicide Silence live performance when they were all dressed up. I'm pretty sure you guys all remember that. I don't know if it was intended to, you know, remind people of that, but I thought it was cool. In the video, you see a girl turning crazy with bugs like under her skin and her eyes. Really represents well the meaning of the band and the image in general. It was a good idea, I believe. And then they went back in the studio, and by the end of the year, they had completed a new album, which again, of course, everybody was extremely excited for. Then, in April 2023, they hired Carl Schultz to replace Jeff on guitar, who quit the band, fortunately. And so that's when they released a brand new video for the song Amounts the Low and Empty. Okay, I think this might be one of their best songs, really. The intro, the catchy riff, especially during the chorus they made, the melody, like everything is so well written and catchy and memorable. Memorable, I think, is the right word, yeah. And I don't know, yeah, I really love this song. Dave's vocals, of course, once again, are absolutely insane, especially towards the end during the breakdown. It's insane. And I mean, this song live, just... Dear Lord, I mean, what is even that? He's a beast, for real. Dave is incredible. I said it maybe like 40 times in this video, but truly, it's unreal. And yeah, so anyway, people were, of course, super excited to hear the new album, and right before releasing it, they made another video for the song Tower of Torsos. I mean, wow, man. Like, can we talk about Dave's moves? Like, it gives me some serious Immure vibes with him as a frontman and with those moves and all that. I don't know why. Could be just in my head, but like, and it's a big compliment. I really love Immure. But anyway, Dave's he's the right fit, really. Like, the way he moves, the energy he's bringing to the band, it feels like from the first time he was featured up to now, he just like gained so much confidence and he improved as a vocalist. He was already great, but now he's just on another level, and I'm pretty sure most people are gonna agree with me on this one. Anyway, in July 2023, Signs of the Swarm finally released their brand new album called Amongst the Low and Empty. That's what I'm talking about. That is Signs of the Swarm. Sure, you could argue that they changed over time, but to me, the intensity and the heaviness that the previous album was lacking, it's all back, and even better, if I'm honest. Like, this whole album is just awesome. I honestly listened to it many times as I was making the video. We have a segment called Battle of the Breakdowns on our podcast, and I picked a breakdown out of this album just to give you an idea of how much I liked it. I usually pick albums like the Chelsea Green EP and like stuff from like 2007, 2008. So for me to pick a 2023 album, I think it says a lot. Anyway, I don't even know why I'm telling you that, but it's so good. I enjoyed everything. I could repeat myself again and talk about Dave's vocals. I think it goes without saying at this point, but they have their thing going on, and I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they're picking up more and more traction. That's incredible, truly. They also released 2 other videos for the song Melody and Dream Killer. Both videos were great. One was very simple, like a performance video, and the other one was more of a concept. They both were cool and matching the intensity of the songs per se, and that sums it up, I think. It brings us to today, and believe me, they're still killing it. I'm sure you all know that if you're watching, and thanks if you're still watching, by the way. Thank you so much. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but by the look of it, it's going to be pretty long, so thank you for sticking with me and watching my stuff. Really appreciate that. But it's cool to see. It's cool to see a band like Signs of the Swarm going through all those lineup changes, all those things, and thriving today, and really they deserve every part of their success, and I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do next. So once again, if you want to support me, simply leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me. And of course, if you want to take a look to the merch, you know, go on my website. Even if you don't buy anything, I would like to get your opinion. And while we're talking about that, leave any kind of comments. Really, I love reading your stories, your opinions on everything. That's my favorite part. I love reading your comments. So if you have time, please do that. And if you're still watching, obviously you probably have time to do that. So anyway, yeah, that's basically it. I appreciate you all, and I'm having a blast. You might have noticed on my channel, I'm having more views. I don't know if I'm gonna jinx myself by saying that, but I really appreciate it a lot, and I'm looking forward to see where it's gonna go. But you guys are awesome, and thank you for everything. Don't forget, of course, our Discord and our live podcast on Twitch. We have a great community, and I would love for you to be a part of it. So don't hesitate. You are welcome to join. With all that being said, as usual, I'll see you in the next one.